of what they vacate now. Like Reggie Bush, all their stuff with vacating everything, and I mean that's what they said, because Reggie Bush of the Heisman thing and getting paid and whatnot, that because they had to vacate that entire season, not only did they vacate the wins, they vacated the losses.
Numbers are whatever. What happened on that field that night was magical. With Vince Young's the rush in the fourth quarter.
Although I'll give you one thing, the commercial, whatever commercial it is, where it keeps on showing Vince Young running through the back of the end zone, like it just keeps on. It shows it like 10 times. I did not have the sound on for it, so maybe the sound helps, but it doesn't really get me hyped up for whatever's going to happen this weekend.
I watched that game live, and it's one of the few games I remember from 2006. That was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I was 10, and I remember sitting on my couch in my living room in Merced, California, and watching that game, and a little sports fan I was hyped.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Longhorns, whoa! I just put my Longhorns on my head.
Yeah, I saw that. You were rooting for USC that game?
Oh, I hate you. I've been brought up to hate USC.
Who do you like? Who's your college football team?
My grandfather was a Florida Gator.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I'm a Florida Gator fan. And we'll talk about them just coming up soon.
Okay, so why do you hate USC if the Florida Gators are your team? Like, it's not like you like UCLA.
Because of one play where Pete Carroll threw the ball deep against Jim Harbaugh, Stanford, in the closing minutes of a game that he had already won, and the sportsman in me just really rubbed me the wrong way.
So that's the stuff I like.
And I just don't like Pete Carroll. I still don't like Pete Carroll.
Pete.
And so I can't like USC. I can't root for him. I can't root for him now. And they're a great football team, but
even
can't do it.
When Pete Carroll's been gone for 10 years?
It's just a bad taste in your mouth,
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe someday we can go to counseling together.
Like really, LA teams just.
Yeah, I mean
can't stand them.
That's the bigger argument in my opinion. LA being, I mean, you're Merced. What is that technically? Is that Central California?
It's right dead center in the middle.
Yeah, I'm from Sacramento, so I usually write for obviously NorCal teams, Kings and Raiders and A's and Sharks. So I understand the LA hate, but I don't know. Maybe it's because a lot of my family members live in LA and they like the Trojans. So maybe that's why I don't understand. But hey, if you want to carry that over, it's good. Any type of sports hate, whether it's legitimate or not. Like, I still hate Rick Fox to this day. Rick Fox can walk in the studio. I'd say, turn around and leave, Rick Fox.
These
Doug Christie's out there.
These totally unverified hatreds. My dad absolutely, without a doubt, cannot stand Derek Fisher. And he's one of the most clutch players in NBA history. And my dad was a lifelong Lakers fan.
Yeah.
He's now jumped on the Golden State bandwagon.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and his kids have been Golden State fans for years, but it's if Derek Fisher's brought up, if he sees him doing an interview, if he sees anything Derek Fisher, he immediately either turns the TV off, walks up, gets out of the room, or says some sort of mean thing to the TV, saying, "Get off my TV." It's hysterical, really.
So what's his problem with Derek Fisher?
No one knows. He might just have a little punchable face, but
that's definitely true. Rick Fox definitely as well.
Oh yeah.
Doug Christie found that out. Very punchable. But I agree with Derek Fisher hate. I mean, Derek Fisher, if he came in here, I'd tell him to get his flopping behind out of here. He's a bigger flopper than Vlade Divac, in my opinion.
Some stats for USC, though.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold last week against Stanford, 21 for 26. Incredible. Looks like an NFL arm. I think he will be an NFL arm.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I think he's being a little bit overhyped, but I think he's going to be a very good quarterback. He's definitely one of the Heisman frontrunners this year, and I think he's going to be a good pro quarterback.
I don't think he's a Deshaun Watson come out and you're starting in the NFL. I think he's going to be a couple years.
And I agree with that. I think, for everything, maybe it's just because Deshaun Watson was around for so long and he was good for so long that we kind of have that stale, like, oh, well, what's the next thing? Lamar Jackson had a little bit of that in his favor because he kind of just came out of nowhere and he was this breakout star. But Sam Darnold had that times 10 for anyone. I mean, came in midway through the season and he didn't exactly he played well, don't get me wrong, but it's not like he was, outdoing Lamar Jackson's numbers or anything like that.
No.
And everyone anointed him as like the next quarterback, and it helps that he's at USC because USC is known for producing quarterbacks like that. But I don't think he is, the wonder kind like a lot of people do think he is. And I think he's going to be a good pro, and I think he's, going to be in the top 5 for Heisman this year. But people are acting like he's the second coming of Carson Palmer at USC.
Yeah.
At USC.
Which I can't agree with.
Yeah.
Also, USC, bad taste in my mouth. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's move on a little bit to the East Coast.
Yeah, this is your coast, right?
There will be a
Florida.
game played in Florida.
Yeah. Gainesville.
Tennessee, Florida, huge rivalry.
Yeah.
Going back to my grandfather, I'm sure his son-in-law and his son-in-law went to Tennessee. Both Air Force guys. Both love their football. Mm-hmm. They will be sitting on the couch together, watching that game, and there will be some elbows flying. My grandfather's 86. He's going to get an elbow. And,
wow, your family's violent.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, that's what happens.
But it's I would almost pay more money to watch them on the couch than I would to watch the football game.
Is there an official name for this rivalry? Like, there's the world's biggest cocktail party or whatever it's called, like between Florida and Georgia, and then there's the Iron Bowl, obviously. But I know these guys are big rivals, but I don't know if they have an official like the blank game.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be the suspended game. Florida still has 9 guys out.
Oh my God! Yeah,
going into this one.
Explain the conduct of your brethren in Florida.
I mean,
please.
Don't really. It also leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know that I can even talk about this, but just all the weed stuff, all the memorabilia stuff. It's really ridiculous, and I think that it goes to lack of structure.
Yeah,
because when Urban Meyer was there, none of that stuff would fly. And if it would, he would have weeded those guys out no pun intended, long before game day was coming, and there was no way he wouldn't know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it just comes from a lack of knowing your players, knowing what's going on behind closed doors, because that's more of a college coach's job than anything, is making sure your guys are available to be on that field, since there's so many more rule regulations than there are with the NFL, and you can't just extend a trial like Ezekiel Elliott throughout an entire season. So, I mean, I think it is lack of structure. I think it's really disappointing for all Gator fans across the country because for so long they've been such a stand-up program. You know, I mean, Tim Tebow, they've had the best guy in the NFL, the MLB, all these things, performing miracles at...
Literally,
yeah. I mean, I would say that Demaryius Thomas pass was a miracle, but it's just... Yeah, this is such a storied program, and to see this happening is really just kind of a pain in my side. I really don't like it.
Yeah, so number 24, Florida, who's 0-1 after that loss to Michigan, playing number 23, Tennessee, who's 2-0 in Gainesville in the Swamp. Last year, Florida up 18 the first half before losing 38-28 to Tennessee in Knoxville.
And Tennessee wasn't even good last year.
They started off well, and then they could just kind of totally fell off.
I like Tennessee this year, though. They're a good team.
Oh, did you?
Good guys.
Did you just... say that to your parent or your grandparent? And
well, I got an uncle over there too. He gives me presents.
Okay, well, Ben, always thinking ahead. Last year Tennessee started 5-0 with like a ton of close games. They beat Appalachian State by a touchdown in overtime. I remember that game. Beat Virginia Tech by 21. Beat Ohio by 9. Beat you guys by 10, and then beat Georgia by 3, and then they lost.
So who do you have in this game? Florida, Tennessee.
I'm going to say Tennessee. I just think there's something's going to go weird with the Texas or with the Florida Gators this year. I think they're going to go like 8-4.
Well, and off the field stuff really does affect these players.
Yeah,
and these are their best friends who they've started playing with since freshman year of college, and now they're just suddenly not on the field with them.
Yeah, it just feels like
something It's a mental thing more than anything.
Yeah, and I mean your coach is out there posing nude with sharks. I mean, it's just a bad look, you know.
That's a typical Florida person, though. Let me tell you,
there's a stink over this entire program after that. I think that's probably what happened. Like once the players said that, like, well, if coach can do this, let's just go set up some rings of bad illegal activities, and this is where you led your kids down, coach. Good job. So I have Tennessee. I believe the current line in Las Vegas. The Gators are actually a 4.5 point favorite. So, Ben, you picking the Vols?
It's tough for me to root for the Gators right now.
Wow. So after talking up such a big game as a Gator fan,
I'm a Gator fan, but it's hard for me to be a fan right now.
Yeah. Not really a huge game in terms of competition, but Wisconsin, who a lot of people have challenging Ohio State for the Big Ten.
They are so stinking good.
Yeah.
Their run game is,
yeah. Oh, so good.
I like it.
They're playing BYU in Utah. The Wisconsin Badgers are number 10 in the nation. They are 2-0. BYU has played 3 games already. They're 1-2. They barely snuck past Portland State of the Big Sky in their first game. They ended up 2 touchdowns up, but still. And then they lost to LSU by 27 and Utah by 6.
Tell me Jonathan Taylor doesn't give you a little bit of a Kareem Hunt vibe.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because, so Bradrick Shaw, their original starting running back, right leg injury. Jonathan Taylor comes in, did not let his opportunity go to waste.
No.
Totals 223 yards, 3 touchdowns, and it was just, it reminded me of the Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots game, where Kareem Hunt, who was, thought about in the preseason, he's, okay, this guy might be kind of good, busts off huge numbers against one of the best defenses in the league over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And just the 3 touchdowns, it's ridiculous. Fantasy points go galore.
Yeah.
And it just, that's really what it reminded me of. And that they have a similar run style. It's really just bust through that line, get outside, go. And I'm excited to see more from this true freshman. It's cool to see these little 18-year-olds doing big things.
I know, yeah. The freshmen are always like, there's just a certain novelty, obviously, because we haven't seen them before, but there's just a certain like spark they give to a team, especially when they play so well. So Jonathan Taylor, like you said, true freshman, 35 rushes so far this season, 310 yards as an average of 8.9. He has 4 touchdowns in 2 games. You know, granted, he's played Utah State and Florida Atlantic, but still
huge enough for a true freshman.
Yeah,
it's coming onto the biggest stage of his life out of high school. Like, he's never seen anything like this. And just to be able to perform like he's performing is really cool.
Yeah. So Wisconsin, only 16-point favorites against BYU in Provo. So,
only?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd think with how good Wisconsin has been playing, and BYU's already 1-2.
That's 2 touchdowns and a safety.
That's true. That's what they're thinking. They're thinking the safety is going to hit right on there, so they're going to get a play on both sides. Yeah, Wisconsin, I think, is going to win this one by, I'll say, by 20 points.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. Let's move on. The last game we have teed up here is a matchup between a ranked LSU team and a unbeaten but not ranked Mississippi State team that is going to be played in Mississippi. And I mean, this is like, it really feels like we're very early in the season. Obviously, we are. It's week 3. If some teams have played 3 games, it's because they played week 0 officially. But we're already starting SEC play. Some teams are, playing in conference elsewhere, like the Clemson-Louisville. They're playing the ACC game already. So it's kind of cool that they're already getting started with these big matchups in league play. So LSU 2-0, ranked number 12 in the nation. Mississippi State also 2-0. They're playing in Starkville. And this is going to be the ESPN game at 4 o'clock, kind of getting you ready for the Clemson-Louisville game. I don't know if I really have an opinion really strongly either way for either of these teams. LSU with Ed Orgeron now fully in the helm. Let's see if they can keep doing what they've been doing so far this year. They've only given up 10 total points in 2 games, so their defense is clicking just like they were before under Les Miles. And Mississippi State, I know they're definitely partying even if they went 2-10 this entire year because of what happened to Ole Miss in that whole debacle. So it'll be a fun game to watch, kind of get you tuned up for the marquee game of the night, Clemson and Louisville, and then to me, Triple G and Canelo.
Oh, baby.
Really the big fight or event Saturday night.
We do have to wrap this segment up. We will have some Cal Poly for you later on in the show, but Mark Willard coming up next. We're going to talk some NFL. It's going to be a great time. Alex, you got a song queued up for me?
I do.
Let's take it out. This is Alex Klepper and Ben Fletcher on The Clutch.
Sleep now, the door locked, we don't talk, we sleep now. I hold you, I hold the sound, we sleep now.